Before we begin, thank you very much to the replacement for the French, just the one, for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you for replacing the one French. That is appreciated. It's reference to the clip that's usually at the end of my videos because it's a promo for my D&D campaign live Thursdays, etc., etc. However, I've switched out with something a little bit fresher and a little bit more upcoming. So that one, if you haven't taken a look at the credit sequence lately, go take a look. There's a little bit of a teaser for something else that's on the way. All right, so we got news roundup today to go through because, of course, it is a Monday. However, it is, again, like last week, a pretty thin week for news, and frankly, I don't even have sightings to go through this week. We're all pretty much in recovery mode after the holidays, so not a lot is going on around the world of Transformers. But something dropped that I think we can talk about for a bit. So let's actually deep into this a little bit and take a look. As you can see, we have quite the ensemble on our very first story. We have a Selects multi-pack being announced. Well, not announced, but we found the listing for it. And it is including Trailbreaker, Sunstreaker, Wheeljack, Jazz, and yes, believe it or not, Earth Mode Hound. All deluxe size, all presumably retools or repaints from themselves. Nothing. I'm not expecting anything drastically new with this. So this is interesting for a couple reasons. Number one, if they're this is not going to be a simple reissue. I feel like if they're actually going to be running this particular set of 5, it's not going to be just like a straight like reissue of like our second chance, because that wouldn't really give collectors an incentive to get it. I feel like it's going to be closer to like either a I feel like it's going to be like the Buzzworthy Cliff Jumper and Cup, for instance. I feel like that is going to be the tone here. Like, no translucent plastic, painted windows, completely opaque. And some of this, and some of this, like Jazz, that's kind of necessary. Because that Jazz had a lot of fragility issues people were having problems with because of the clear plastic. And on some of these, maybe not necessary, but, I always appreciate when I can get toys cast in solid plastic, and I can avoid the stuff. Looking at it, there is room in this for improvement if we are doing something like that. If they are going to make a cartoon accurate Wheeljack, for instance, then you need gray tones instead of black. That's the one thing that's kind of bugged me about, like, all the current toys are trying to be toon accurate. Wheeljacks usually get cast in black like the toy, not gray like the show. So I'm actually expecting an adjusted deco for that. Honestly, all the molds in here are actually good molds. I mean, they're all really solid toys to pick up. I'm not a fan of buying for the sake of being upgrades, and that does essentially mean I'm going to have to spend $100 on essentially upgrades of toys I already own just to get my hands on the Earth Mode Hound for my collection, which is super frustrating. That's super frustrating. However, I mean, I could take the positive route and say, well, it's better this than nothing. At least I can sell off the older figures, right? And I don't have to worry about that. Okay, fine. We can do that. And I can accept that, like, if these 4 come out, they'll likely be with improved decos, or at least altered decos, so they do stand out. Whatever. It is just super weird that the only way to get out Hound is going to be like this. So people start asking, people start digging. I'm going to have to adjust the frame so you can see this one. So we look over here, JT Prime 17, who is a notable leaker and has been like on the ball when it comes to a lot of these early listings. He's telling us that Target backed out due to poor sales of the first deluxe wave. And that deluxe wave, by the way, would be the aforementioned Cliff Jumper and Cup wave. Because that is currently flooding Ollie's, Ross, various liquidation stores around the country. So no real surprise that at the time of being offered Hound, Target went, no, we're good. Which is unfortunate because Hound and the Wavemate Hatchet were brand new figures that would be far more in demand than the ones that Hasbro did do for the first wave of deluxe Buzzworthy. Cliff Jumper, because of the size and part forming, had its detractors. Cup is not nearly as big of a character as like the 84 Autobots. I don't know. I think Target screwed up on this one. And it's weird, right? Because since then, Target's taken on a lot of weird repaint figures for Buzzworthy, and a lot of them don't seem to have sold very well either. And yet they skipped out on the wave that would have been brand new toys. It's weird. It's a weird call. Like, in a way I can understand it, but it's still a weird call. But it does explain what happened. We finally have an answer for why exactly these toys got canceled, or why we got renders for the toys over a year ago and have never seen the physical models. So at the very least, we have an answer. We don't have the toys yet, but we have an answer. And this gives a home for Hound, and it gives collectors a chance, albeit an expensive one, to actually own it. But that still leaves Hatchet floating around somewhere. You'd think they just stuff it into the Studio Series release somewhere. You'd think they do it to Hound. How did they release Detritus and not Hound? I don't know. The whole situation's really odd. The whole situation is really odd. But hopefully it means that Hound is on the way relatively soon. Sometime this year at least. So expect a lot of these Earthrise and Kingdom versions to get sent over to eBay. It'd be nice if they actually did something new with the molds. I wouldn't mind a Trailbreaker that was better with his kibble. I don't know. So that's my long talking point for the day. Let's move on to some of the other things that we can talk about today. We have the behind the scenes for Magmatron, which means we do get some extra information about it. We'll take a look at the pictures here in a bit. Couple things to point out in all of the notes that Mark Marr gave us. Part of it is that when I saw this OG toy so many years ago, I was blown away. There's so many things I love about Transformers packed into this guy. Then once I actually watched the Beast Wars Neo dubbed series and saw the action sequence of the combining dinos, I damn near pooped my pants. I think that's just. I don't think it was that amazing. Let's tone it back a little bit. Also, dubbed. Where did you see Beast Wars Neo dubbed? Who played Big Convoy? Tell me it was Keith David. I'd love to hear Keith David's Big Convoy. But I'm assuming he means subbed or the original Japanese version. But there are things to point out. So, the Landsaurus head can actually move forward in robot mode, which is kind of interesting. All the jaws of the dinos have been painted. Blast effects fit into the port of the Magma Blade, but you can also position it as a blaster. Due to the transformation, the waist actually hinges and can act like an ab crunch. Considering a combination figure like this, I'm surprised when it has a waist joint. For it to also have a faux ab crunch is also really cool, actually. We do have the two removable swords. Okay, cool. Something about the Landsaurus can plug into a 5mm port to stay stationary, or can unplug and become mobile. I assume that means it can be removed from Magmatron's arm. He starts strutting like Ric Flair at one point. But we can take a look at Magmatron in full lovely posability. He looks really, really nice. He still looks really, really nice. Looks like he poses really well too for what this toy does. If it get this level of posability, I think is super impressive. Oh yeah, he's got a. Oh, he's doing the Zolo thing. He's doing the Zolo 3 sword thing, except he's actually using the Seasaurus to hold the third blade. That's cheating, I feel, but okay. If you can do it, fine. I won't begrudge you. Look at all the posability in the Sky Sword. Look you can have full neck rotation, but all of those joints let the wings move however you need them to move around the head. That's so good. That's really, really good. Oh my god, he can superhero land. That's a lot. That's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a sword and blaster mode. So you can do the big blaster thing. There's the head moving forward. That's creepy to have all like 3 heads staring at you. I wonder if you can also lift up the head on the chest. Like if because it's ball jointed. You can see the ball joint gap there. Could you also like lift that up so all 4 heads are staring? That would get creepy. That would get creepy. I kind of want it. Yeah. Yeah, and then the individual dinos. Look how posable this thing is. Look at how posable that is. That's a pretty extreme pose to still also be stable. That's actually really impressive. Yeah, it's supposed to be a Quetzalcoatlus, but they're so much bigger than that, and they're supposed to walk on their wings. Yeah, he's looking so good. He's looking good. I'm happy I was wrong about this toy not being possible to be produced as a new figure. Really, really happy to see it. Okay, I've been talking a lot, padding out this video, so it's probably still going to end up being 20 minutes, but let's move on to some of the extra toys. Over on the Takara side of things, a burning convoy has actually dropped based on the Kingdom figure. It looks like my absolute nightmare of that it is almost all translucent plastic. And all translucent red plastic, no less. That's how the original toy was, so keep it accurate, I guess. I've never been big on this one. I've never been a big fan of how they rendered this deco. It's just kind of an odd way of repainting Primal. Even back then it was. But you know what? Now it's classic, so okay, I won't begrudge it. Not for me, but cool that Takara is actually getting it produced. Yeah, and then you've got, there's been plenty of red weapon figures out last year, so you can pair those pretty well. Yeah, there's your all translucent red brigade. I think they're even using the same shade of like red palm plastic too. Yeah, there's comparisons. Okay, Gotchard cards, because why not? I guess. Okay, yeah, there's a Gotchard combination that's Gorilla and Flame. Okay, I get the joke. I get the joke. It looks fine for what it is. It's not for me, but it looks fine for what it is. Now, here's a little bit more of something I might go for. The Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime mold has been redone in Nemesis colors. And, you know, Optimus Prime in black with red translucence and, like, those teal hits, like, this has always just been a really good look. Like, there's no Optimus Prime mold that looks bad like this. Yeah, Studio Series, yeah, it's just, yeah, same old box. It's just a quick repack just for getting the toy out, nothing really special. But, man, one more Black Convoy for your collection. Because there's a lot of them. I know people who do collect nothing but Black Convoys. A little bit of random stuff for you. So just a little drop of artwork. So this is the early concept that Eddie Del Rio did for Stratosphere for Rise of the Beast. And you can see by the date, when exactly they were working on all these designs. Why is it that the big jet characters in these live-action movies always end up being recast as a decrepit old man? Why? I don't know. This one's a little bit more interesting. He's got kind of a Centurion look to him. And I do like the wings, like, cast down like that. Like, they're like shoulder capes. That kind of looks cool. There's a little bit of... there's a vibe here I'm trying to pick up. Like, almost, I was going to say almost a little bit of Cybertron Jetfire vibe here with, like, the engines on the shoulders. Yeah, and I don't know. Like, we never got any kind of toy for Stratosphere, and he wasn't in the movie for very long. So, like, I obviously, I do prefer this because it looks more solid. The face looks a little bit weird. Because I think that's supposed to be a faceplate, but like the edging below it just kind of makes him look like he has this really doofy grin. Like a big old smile. I don't know. So, what could have been. What could have been. This one we can glance over really quick. So, we have sightings and now in hands for EarthSpark's Optimus Prime Battle Base trailer. This is just a repaint of the 2018 Cyberverse Optimus Prime. And yeah, so it's the same old toy we got before. It's just done up in a slightly different deco now. Which, okay. If you want an Optimus Prime with a trailer, okay, you're good. I suppose your, like, Tacticons, like the little, like, finger pokey ones, I suppose those will fit inside the trailer and then inside the base mode. It just, man, it really doesn't feel like Hasbro tries very hard on these, do they? It feels like we found out about this toy like 2 weeks ago, and now it's already out. When you know Hasbro could have announced it and gotten some hype up for it months ago. And again, it's just a repaint. It's just a repaint from a you know, a figure from 2018. You know, and now I don't know. I really don't like how little effort they put into their cartoon lines anymore. I really don't. I don't like it, and I kind of get why they're doing it, but it's still a bad taste in my mouth. Oh well, at least there's some good EarthSpark toys. The Cyber Combiners, make more of those. Those are really good. Of course, it's a news roundup, so you know I have to mention Yolopark at some point. So, the news of the week is the in-hand photos for Cheetor and Scourge are now out and are now making the news rounds on TFW 2005. You saw them first on my channel, just saying. Just saying. But then again, I didn't set these up in a light box in order to actually, like, take these really high-quality photos, so I get it. I get it. And thank you, but I will at least be happy that they did the comparison shot that I couldn't, because I still haven't found that toy. So yeah, he's actually quite a bit bigger than the Studio Series. He's quite a bit bigger. That's actually, remember, this is a $30 toy. And remember to use my link when you go buy them, because that helps me out a lot. Yeah, these are just cool. This just, they make cool stuff. So, with Cheetor and Scourge, there was supposed to be a third in the wave, and that was Rhinox. Yolopark did give us an update on the Rhinox. They took it back and started producing, and then started like adjusting the colors on it. So here's how it looked originally, where it's using flat gunmetal in order to fill out most of Rhinox's body. You can see around the face and the collarbone, especially where the silver paint is supposed to be. But the shades are so close to each other, they're not standing out at all. And obviously this is just a little drab as a result. But the new version turns that gunmetal into like a rich kind of chocolate brown color. And this looks so much better. And it's a subtle change. It's a subtle change. If I didn't have the previous photo ready, you might not have even noticed. But this is looking a lot better to me. The silver standing out a lot more, and he's doesn't seem just like a flat gray blob anymore. So fantastic to see that. I mean, it still looks really good. Hopefully, be able to review this model as well when it comes out, and you know, kind of get to see, you know, a big Rise of the Beast cast made out of these things all together. Again, the detail level on these is incredible. So is the articulation for the price point. So really happy that Yolopark took it back to basics and fixed up the colors to make it a little bit more appealing, because it does look a lot better this way. So this set also is going to come with the additional weapons you need for your Optimus Prime kit if you pick that up as well. So just so you're informed, yeah, this one is for the Prime collectors as well. And then we'll wrap it up with this, because this was a really weird news item. And this might not even be legit. This might have been some reproduction someone produced. So these are lost Creon warriors. So remember the last throws of Creo was them throwing like different like weaponry sets and themes onto different Transformer figures. Like, you know, I think there was like a cowboy Optimus Prime. I think there was a pirate Starscream. Things like that. Here we go. Here we go with another listing. Now, keep in mind, Series 3 never released at retail. Here's Series 4 that we previously had only like seen in rumor and legend, where we have a very night-based Optimus Prime. There's an Optimus with night goggles. Jazz with some more animated Jazz-esque weaponry. Let's see, Megatron with an Olympic torch, which is kind of neat. I think he's supposed to be some old school vehicle, like a train or some steam locomotive or something. Crazy weaponry, like Gladiator. Okay, there's a pirate Bumblebee, kind of a ninja Bumblebee with a batleth. Klingon Bumblebee is what I'm getting. There's Cowboy Starscream. Yeehaw. We have a Samurai Starscream. Okay. The news article said this was Hot Rod. I think because they saw orange. It's Drift. It's Cyberverse Drift. And Drift also appearing in night form as well. So, super odd and super rare. The fact that we even saw these at all is kind of amazing. So, despite a slow news week, because the front-loaded topic had so much to talk about, we still made it past 20 minutes. Oh, I'm terrible at this. So, there's your news roundup for the week. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed, and as always, I will see you next time.